Where? Oh. Something. Good morning everyone. Today our topic is sexual harassment in workplace, and I'm Athena Wang Jie. And sorry, this is our online. First, we'll give you what is sexual harassment, and Michelle will cover male to female North Country, and Helen will cover the female to male cases in horrible bosses. And Jennifer will cover what is glycemic phenomenon, and Pauline will cover the sexual women. And the end, Lenny will give us some example about men in the phenomenon. First, we get started with the definition. Sexual harassment by law, completing deliberate and unwelcome sexual advances, unwanted requests for sexual favors, or certain other sexually offensive conduct. And sexual harassment can be committed by men or women in many different roles. Usually, a person is in higher position and using power over the other. The majority cases including women are sexual harassment by their male bosses or fellow employees. And let's welcome Michelle to give us some example in the movie North Country.
Okay, thank you, Athena. So, since I know that all of you have watched this movie, North Country, but I want to help you to review it a little bit. Okay, and then I will have screenshot some of the scenario to connect the relation with sexual harassment. Okay, North Country, the movie happens in 1980s to 1990s, and it is taken place in North America. And all of the movie is about the women Josie is sexual harassment by the majority of men, and women becomes the target of provocation. Okay, so you can see that one is Josie. To recall it a little bit. Okay, and then I have separated into 3 types of sexual harassment. And the first one is verbal comments. Verbal means speaking. Okay, and the second is nonverbal gesture. And third is physical contact. Okay, so we'll start from the first one, verbal comments. Verbal comments means people will say profanity to you, and profanity with dirty language, like they will say the C words, B, W, F, P word to you. Okay, I'm not there to read it, but you can browse it a little bit. And then I have taken some screenshot from the movie to let you feel more authentic. Okay, the one I shot, I forgot his name, but he's one of the workers in the factory with Josie, and he's saying, which one of this girl is gonna be my B? Okay, give me the one on the right. Okay, so if I believe you are a female sitting here, you will feel really offensive when you hear this. It's like the men are turn the female into a thing and materialize female. And the second example is that the boss in the factory says to Josie, the doctor says you look darn good under these clothes. Okay, see, look darn good. Although it is not profanity, it did not say the B words or C words, but you still feel uncomfortable when you hear this. And the third example is, Sherry, quite contrary, kiss mine, not lips. Okay, it's really blood. Okay, so it's quite obvious. It's verbal comments on sexual harassment. Okay, so let's move on to the second type of it. The second type is nonverbal gesture. So what is nonverbal gesture? Let's quick go into the example. The man will put sex toy in women's lunch box. Yeah, it's disgusting. Okay, so the second example is that men will put their seminal fluid on women's clothes, and seminal fluid means the man's sperm. Yeah. Okay. This goes to the third part. The third part is physical contact. Okay. So what's the example in the movie? Josie suffered brutal force after she made complaints and discrimination to the boss. So it is quite obvious too. She cannot do anything but women push over on the wall and want to threaten Josie not to complain about anything to their company. And the second example is that the men are trying to turn over the portable toilet. And there's a coworker, female coworker inside the toilet. She is very frightened, but she cannot do anything. But and she is very offensive and very disgusting and angry about it. And third is that the man is putting his hands into the woman's chest and with any excuses, but the woman can just enjoy it and cannot say anything about it. Okay, so all of this, the verbal, non-verbal, and physical are all about women is the sufferer in the sexual harassment. But later we will introduce men will also suffer sexual harassment in the workplace. So let's welcome Helen.
Hi, I'm Helen. I'm going to talk about that male sexual harassment. As we know, in the past, men has controlled society and our generation for many years, and they symbolize the power and their high status, while women are seen as their belonging. So, when we talk about sexual harassment, we may think that it's male to female. Female is victim, not male. So, is it possible that harassment happens to male? The answer is yes. Why? Because nowadays, the awareness of women's rights, women began learn to protect themselves and fight for their rights. So, some women taken position of important status, and they have high power. They have high power left over than male. So at this time, harassment happens from female to male. So here I have an interesting example from a movie called Horrible Bosses. She is a dentist and she is a boss, and she harassed this man, her assistant.
There she goes. What are you doing?
You're gonna give me that dong, Dale.
My dong?
You're gonna fuck my slutty little mouth.
You hear the words you say sometimes? I mean, who talks like that?
Let's have sex on top of her. Let's use her like a bed.
Get down, get down. Hey, get off. God damn you! That's it, okay? You know what? That's crossing the line. So I'm done, Julia. Fuck this, dude. I'm out. I don't need this job, so goodbye. I'm quitting. I'm done.
I'm gonna tell her you fucked me.
What?
If you don't fuck me, I'm gonna tell her that you fucked me.
Okay, tell her whatever the hell you want. She's not gonna believe you.
She already knows that you're a sex offender. And I think once she gets to look at these, she's gonna believe me.
What is that?
Do you remember your first week here, Dale? When I changed the crown on your second bicuspid?
Yeah.
Well, I just took a few pictures of the procedure.
Oh my God.
Right?
Oh.
Oh. Mm.
You did all this while I was unconscious?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh, that's my favorite.
Rape.
What?
Rape. That's a rape. This is what raping is. You're a raper. You raped me. That's a rape. Rape.
Just relax there, Jodie Foster. Your dick wasn't even hard.
Hey, that does not give me any relief.
But it will be next time, and if it is not, this little sweetheart right here is going to get a peek at my butter.
Yes, as we can see in the movie, this woman, she really harassed this man badly, and she used dirty and indecent words and offensive behavior. So please take it serious. It's not a joke. First, the harassment is not limited to female. It happens on male too. The truth is that the male is this type of experience also damage to male. And though total number of sexual harassment has been declining, but men's harassment is double to 16% of all crimes. And here are some myths for male harassment. Most people think in this way, but it's not the truth. The first one, is it sexual titillating for male? And the second one, do male always want sex and benefit from sex with female? And the third one, is the man considered lucky if a female wants sex with a man? And was their experience not abuse, but likely should have enjoyed it? Unfortunately, this myth causes that men feel deeply ashamed of themselves and their gender, and men are locked in silence, shame, and self-loathing, and who dare acknowledge that there are sexual harassment by female are cruelly laughed at and humiliated. The last one is the most important. The myth that men cannot be victimized, particularly by women, is firmly entrenched in many cultures. So men are victims as well. So let me reaffirm it is not a joke. Males also have right to say no and protect themselves. And besides the sexual harassment in the workplace, there's also another phenomenon in the workplace called gas-stealing phenomenon. Let's introduce Jennifer to Peggy.
Okay, thank you. So I want to talk about another phenomenon really happens in workplace. It's named glass ceiling. So let me give you some definition. It refers to the barriers faced by women who attempt to get a senior position in corporation or organization. But actually, it also refers to racial and ethnic minority and men when they experience barriers to advancement. So the word glass, it is because that it is not usually a visible barrier, and a woman may not be aware of its existence until she hits the barrier. Okay, so you can see that usually the man is on a higher position and the women are in the lower position in workplace. So this word comes from in 1986 in Wall Street Journal report on corporate women. So from that time, these words glass ceiling are discussing in many books and studies. And there are three reasons what causes glass ceiling in workplace, especially for women. The first one is the time, because being a senior manager, the premise is the master degrees plus 25 years of workplace. You can see that it is a very long time, and usually women don't have enough time to keep working because of their gender role socialization, such as giving birth, taking of children, and so on. Let me talk more about the gender role socialization. Because as a woman, they are expected to have a family. So we will marry first and get pregnant and give birth. And after our children was born, we have to take care of them. So we cannot fully concentrate on career. And there are also many limitations for women to get higher position, because that women cannot work abroad for a long time or some unexpected work schedule. So it seems that it is mission impossible for women to balancing home life and career simultaneously. And the last part is the stereotype in workplace, because the first time we think about the manager, we will think about male. You can see that this is our image for professional CEO. It is a male. So and words to describe leaders such as ambitious, reasonable, and leadership, enterprise, and objective
are also masculine adjectives. So the corporation tend to choose male as their senior position based on the stereotype. In other words, that female has less opportunity to get higher position. So when a company wants to choose a professional CEO, they will tend to choose male because in their mind and in their based on the stereotype, they will think that male may be they have more ability to take this position. But is it really real? And we will give you an example on grass selling. Let's welcome Pauline.
And hi, I'm going to share a story about Carly Fiorina. But before this, look at this picture again. You can see women have to take care of a baby, and maybe she had to make meals to feed their family or do a lot of housework. But at the same time, as you can see, she one hand she held a pile of documents and her uniforms. What does it mean? How can women strike a balance between family and job? And it's her, Carly Fiorina. She is the most powerful woman, and you can see. In 1999 to 2005, she has been the chief executive officer of HP, also one of the directors of TSMC. However, she was not born in a very rich family. She was a self-made woman. What does it mean? Self-made means she achieved all of success by herself. In the very beginning, she was a secretary at a hair salon, then a receptionist in a real estate firm, also an English teacher in Italy. After several years, she always diligent and hardworking. She never looked down on her job. So she became manager and senior vice president, also president of one of the departments. Eventually, she became an HP, the CEO of HP. You must know this brand. It was a famous American multinational information technology corporation. In the year 2006, it's the year Carly Fiorina just left the HP. The magazine Fortune made a list ranking of America's largest corporation, and you can see the list. HP Corporation is the 11th. Can you imagine, as a woman, how do you lead an international company with over 300,000 employees? In appearance, you may think everything goes smoothly in her life. But in this picture, it is a story about her. In one time, she has an opportunity to have a meeting with a customer. But all of the rest male co-workers said to her, "Hey lady, you may not attend our tomorrow's lunch meeting." "Why not?" "Because we have decided to change the restaurant to a strip club." "What is a strip club?" "All of the girls jump up on the table and taking off all their clothes and dancing around you." She has to have a meeting at that kind of place. Also, she has been divorced her husband. Unfortunately, she was being fired by all the directors of HP. There was story about 3 minutes meeting. She was called to join a meeting, so she flew over 3,000 kilometers to join a meeting. So she waited for 3 hours, but there are just 3 minutes meeting. The two persons, one is say to her, "We are very sorry about that." Another is the new CEO. Say, "I am the new CEO, so bye-bye." And you can think about that, from a secretary to a CEO. Do you think she has successfully broken the glass ceiling or not? Actually, woman does not merely in that such situation in workplace. Let's welcome another example of